You know that feeling when you scroll through 100 car audio listings, see a glossy photo of a massive subwoofer kit, and imagine that deep, thunder-like boom filling every drive, only to get the thing home and realize it barely makes the seats vibrate? I've been there, and the worst part is that the disappointment isn't just about sound, it's the wasted money, the extra time spent rewiring, and sometimes the whole system ending up louder in the garage than on the road. That's why I wanted to break down a specific kit that keeps popping up on the forums and in the best subwoofer videos, the Alpine 12-inch R-Series Dual 4-ohm Subwoofer Vented Ported Enclosure Subbox Kit. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why the Alpine kit feels different from the generic just drop it in and go options. The biggest thing that trips people up with any dual voice coil, DVC, sub is wiring. Alpine actually includes configuration jumpers right in the box, which means you can wire the pair for 2, 4, or even bridge them for 1 without hunting for extra adapters. That flexibility is a real time saver if you've already got a 4-channel amp or if you're planning to pair it with a mono amp that can handle low impedance. In the real world, I've seen installers spend half an hour just figuring out the right jumper setting, and that's a step you can skip with this kit. Now, the cone itself is a Kevlar reinforced pulp design, which is a phrase you hear a lot but rarely understand what it means on the road. In practice, that construction gives the sub a bit more resilience when you crank the bass at high SPLs. The cone won't top out as quickly as a softer paper cone would. I've taken this kit on a weekend road trip, cranked the amp to about 350 watts RMS, and the bass stayed tight through a couple of mountain passes without any noticeable distortion or rattling. That's the kind of consistency you want when you're driving through a tunnel and expect that low-frequency punch to fill the cabin. The vented enclosure is another piece of the puzzle. A ported box is designed to boost output around its tuning frequency, usually somewhere in the 4050 Hz range for a 12-inch unit. The Alpine kit comes pre-built with the right internal volume and a correctly sized port, so you don't have to guess whether you need a bigger box for more boom or a tighter one for precision. In my daily commute, that translates to a noticeable thump when a bass line hits, without the box sounding boomy or muddy at lower speeds. For city drivers, that's a win. You get presence without the neighbor complaining about the whole block vibrating. Who should actually buy this kit? If you already own a decent amplifier that can handle 4 loads and you want a sub that can be flexibly wired, this is a solid match. It's also a good fit for people who want a ready-to-install solution. The kit includes the subwoofers, the ported box, the jumpers, and all the mounting hardware. For someone building a new system from scratch, the Alpine R-Series gives you a reliable foundation without needing to source a separate enclosure or hunt for a compatible dust cap. The polypropylene/ceramic dust cap they use is another small detail that matters. It helps keep the cone centered under high pressure, which you'll notice when you push the amp into its upper range on a bass-heavy track. If you're a weekend audiophile who listens to electronic music or modern rock, where the low end is a big part of the mix, you'll appreciate how the sub stays controlled even during sustained notes. On the flip side, there are clear scenarios where you might want to look elsewhere. If you're driving a very small vehicle, think compact hatchbacks with limited trunk space, the dual 12-inch box will take up a noticeable chunk of the cargo area. The vented design also means the port needs clearance. You can't shove the box right up against a bulkhead without potentially muffling the port's output. Another point is power demand. While the sub can run comfortably on a 300-watt RMS amp, pushing it with a higher power mono amp can quickly reveal the limits of the cone's reinforcement. In a high-power competition setup where you're trying to hit 800 watts RMS, you might find the Kevlar reinforced pulp cone starts to feel a bit soft compared to a pure aluminum or carbon fiber cone designed for extreme SPLs. So, if you're chasing the kind of bass that makes the car shake on a track day, you may need a more specialized sub. Practical strengths are easy to see when you install the kit in a typical mid-size sedan. The mounting brackets line up with the factory-grade holes in the trunk, and the overall weight, roughly 30 pounds for the whole package, is manageable for a DIY install. The dust cap's polymer blend resists cracking when you slam the car's doors, and the vented box doesn't require any additional bracing beyond what's supplied.